Yo. Welcome to Lab Science, the #1 podcast covering music production, business, songwriting, and studio technique. I am your host, Professor Sense.
And I'm Lean Automatic.
I am excited. This is going to be a fun episode because we're playing with synthesizers.
Synth Day.
Lean, what are we touching today, bro?
Today we are rolling on the Roland System-1 plug-out synthesizer.
One of your personal favorites. So what makes you like it so much? Why are you such a fan?
Mainly a fan of the System-1 because of the analog circuit behavior.
Word.
Which is how this digital synth operates.
I mean, for folks that don't know, I think it's a really cool concept that they introduced with the synthesizer. It models in the oscillators and in the filter section some of the analog circuitry that you're used to hearing.
Exactly.
So you get that tone, but you get it at a really good price point.
Oh yeah, it's what it's about $600, I think, for this piece right here.
And then you have the plug out technology.
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah, which basically allows you to on your computer match some of the vintage synthesizers, the vintage cutoffs and filter sections and oscillators and those sounds, and then you can kind of beam them to your keyboard to take on a gig. So you can kind of have a different type of analog synth depending on what you need. So really, really dope for the stage.
Exactly. So I think it's best we run through the dashboard of this System-1.
You're just looking for a reason to play sounds.
I'm trying to play some shit.
I think you should play some shit.
All right.
Hey.
There she is.
It feels like a jazzy game show intro. Come on down and kiss these nuts.
All right. So first up, we have a beautiful, wonderful oscillator. Oscillator 1. Got a couple different patches here. Couple different waves, I'm sorry. Got your saw, pulse, triangle. And then we have these like layered versions of each of those waves. So we have like a layered saw, layered pulse, and a layered triangle.
Those are really good for those future bass sounds. Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
Sits in the front of the speaker.
Exactly.
That's nice.
So I'm going to work with one oscillator for now before we move on to anything else. And we're going to take a look at some of the other functions on this dashboard. There's over 70 controls.
That's huge.
There's 70 controls on this keyboard.
Not to cut you off before you get into it too deep. That's dope for if you're using it as a controller.
Exactly.
In Ableton, that's 70 knobs and rotaries that you can map to whatever.
Oh yeah, MIDI mapping.
Yeah, that's dope. Continue, please.
Absolutely. All right, so Oscillator 1 has a series of octaves you can choose from, ranging from 64 to 2. And we up there. I'm all the way up. Now we can move over to the mixer where we have your volume control for your first oscillator. And you also have a sub oscillator that you can add to the mix.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. That's huge. Oh, shit.
This thing is dope. And we could choose the octave. Or you could bring it back down. Wonderful.
Meaty.
Very meaty. Then we also have a separate section for your pitch envelope. So we can do some risers here. We can go up. We can go down. Boy, I'm going down. We can go down. Now we got a knob for the envelope direction, and we have faders for the attack and decay on the key.
I wish you could see my face right now. I'm just melting in my seat.
Melt mode. All right, dope. So let's move on. A filter envelope. So in your filter envelope, we have a LPF, low pass cutoff, and a high pass cutoff. This is dope because as a DJ as well, we start to get into some interesting mixing techniques. And actually, I'm going to take this time to introduce the hold key, because this is going to take your hands off the keyboard and you really start modulating your sound and exploring the 70 different controls on this dashboard.
While you set up the hold, I should remind everyone that the filter section you're getting into now, it uses that ACB technology, that analog circuit behavior.
Exactly.
So this filter models some of the old analog gear. Sounds great. The following section contains some resonant peaks and high frequencies, so if your volume is really high, you may want to turn it down a bit. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Here's your low pass filter. High pass.
And it's great to note that there's an independent low pass and high pass.
Yeah.
There is kind of an independent low and high on the Minilog, but it's routed weird. It's after the delay.
Yeah.
So you have to use the delay in order to engage it.
I see what you're saying.
So that's cool to have for sure.
This is totally DJ lifestyle right here. I got two knobs, high pass, low pass. And my keys are still ringing, but I have so much free range because I get to use my hands now.
Yeah.
So start messing with the resolution here in the filter.
He meant the resonance of the filter and not the resolution. But sativa is a hell of a drug. Go!
Let's get some of this envelope filter going. And your key. That's with some attack. Release. Cool. Now let's go move over to the amplitude filter. Oh wait, real quick, want to mention that there is a octave change for your low pass filter. So I can go 12 dB or 24.
Nice. So there's two poles.
Yep. Exactly. I like the 12. All right, cool. Let's move over to the amplitude filter. We have a ADSR in the amplitude filter, as well as a tone. So let's get some tone going.
So just to explain, an ADSR or an envelope in the amp section, like we're talking about, will allow you to change volume over time based on how you set the envelope up. That's how we get those kind of pad swells that you're hearing now.
Cool. Here's some attack. Release. And we also have a crusher. Now's a good time to bring the hold back.
Oh shit, we got into the alien territory.
Then up next we have a series of effects. We have
and this is where I think the board really shines. The effects section is crazy.
The effects section is crazy because you can get into some interesting movements. Up next we have reverb. Dry. Wet. Also want to mention that a lot of times, you know, we start playing these things and we start going crazy on chords. It's interesting to remember that this only reads 4 notes at a time. So you're not going to, you know, you got 4 notes to choose from. That's why I love this hold key, because it puts your hands back on the dash. You can start modulating your sound.
Yeah. I also just think from a songwriting like standpoint, everything is getting so minimal.
Yeah.
Like having keyboards that are hardware based that strip you down to 4 notes, you really think about the chords and what you need, you know?
Definitely.
So it's kind of one of those cool limitations to add in.
Absolutely. It doesn't take much to get your point across.
Not at all. Not at all.
And you know, I want to remind you also, this whole time we've only been working with 1 oscillator.
That's crazy.
So now I'm going to bring in the second oscillator.
Jesus Christ.
And then we can talk about the LFO.
Sweet.
All right, so here comes the second oscillator. We also have a noise filter. And we can go white noise or pink noise.
And again, that's great for making percussive noises, hi-hats, snares, clap sounds.
Got a lot of reverb on right now. Let's give it some crush.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Let's give it some delay.
Gorgeous.
Delay. And what's dope right now is, you know, every time I cut this off, I'm actually not turning the volume down. I'm just using my low pass filter.
Oh, wow.
So I'm right back at the same note.
And that's a non-steppy filter.
Yeah, no, that's super clean.
Gorgeous. It really does put you back in more of a DJ performance mind state to have that low pass, high pass.
So let's take a look at the LFO.
Oh, yes.
Finally.
So just on a basic overview, where can you route the LFO to?
Well, let's see here. We have a pitch. We have filter, amplitude, the rate of your LFO, and your fade time. So
Nice.
the attack, basically.
Nice.
So here's pitch. We also have a couple different waveforms for the LFO. We have a sine wave, triangle wave, saw, pulse. What was the? Yeah, there's this one, and then we have a random. This one's pretty dope, though.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the filter envelope, amplitude.
Again, when you're talking about making percussive sounds, that LFO on amplitude, that makes your hi-hat roll.
Definitely. Especially with these with the rate change.
Oh. And And you can pull that all the way into audible ranges. So you go from LFO to an actual new oscillator even.
Yep.
You get that FM sound too.
So as I go through some of these things, I'm just gonna start modulating with a lot of the things that we talked about, just so you can really get a feeling of all the different sounds. There's 70 controls on here, so as we start getting weirder, I'll start pointing them out. We haven't even gotten to portamento. All right, so let's stay with the LFO here. Get your rate going. Fade time after the hit. Because sometimes when you add, in my opinion, when you add LFO,
I feel like this is like a Boys the Men intro. You're like, hey girl, sometimes my opinion when you add LFO. Sorry, go ahead.
Basically, I think sometimes when you add too much LFO, it can get kind of muddy.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you're working with melodies.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have a hint of that note that you want in there. And then have that LFO come in.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it gives the ear the chance to hear the note before you start adding effects to it. A lot of times new producers will get caught up in adding LFOs and time-based effects, and you can't hear the key of the song after a while. It's a very good point.
Little time on the delay. Start getting into some dub stuff.
Sounds like a tape machine.
Yeah, exactly. Let's add some reverb. Oh, this is also a good time to introduce the crush again.
Jeez.
Dope. Let's see what else we have here. We have a ring modulation on the second oscillator. We also have a tune on the second oscillator.
So with that second oscillator unsynced, that's how you can kind of cheat that 4-note poly,
Exactly.
Put it on a fifth and get a chord out of it.
Exactly.
Or something detuned and terrifying.
Now is also a good time. Oh, you can sync the second oscillator to the first oscillator.
And then changes in that second oscillator or timbrel to give you kind of a tonal change and not a pitch change.
Exactly. Now we could introduce the color on the first oscillator.
No more segregation.
No more segregation. Add a little color to that boy. Now the color basically starts working on the harmonics, and you can choose to address that to your LFO, your pitch envelope.
Oh shit! I didn't know that was assignable.
Filter envelope. Yep, this is all assignable. Amplitude envelope, and your sub oscillator, which I'm going to bring back now.
Oh my god.
Oh, here's the cross modulation from the first oscillator to the second.
So many modulation options that are
There's
just
so
routed
many.
already, you don't have to
There's so
set them
many.
up.
And we're about to get to one of my favorites, which is the portamento. And you have a legato option as well.
Legato means there's no new attack when you change from note to note, so you get smooth connected phrases with no silence in between your pitches. With synthesizers, that basically means we're not re-triggering the envelope each time a note is played for a smoother flow to the melody. With portamento on, you get a glide in between your notes. So you slide the pitch up and down in between notes as you go from one key to the next. If I hit an A in a low octave and then an A in a high octave, you'll hear all of those individual pitches in between the two A's before we get to that high A.
So here's the portamento. Let's bring some delay and reverb down.
Bending to that note. That's a great way to introduce suspense to your tracks, especially for breakdowns. Play with that portamento. The more time it takes you to get to that note, the more you're kind of itching for it. Again, future bass heads.
Oh, yeah.
This might be your keyboard. Pretty legit organ sound.
Hell yeah. Just by adding the sub.
But yeah, I mean, the sub really made the rest of that organ kind of stand out. That's crazy.
Now you can choose between mono, unison,
stacked oscillators,
or your 4-key option.
Full poly.
Exactly. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, arpeggiator. Try the arpeggiator now.
Lean was born in an arpeggiator. For
I was
those that
born
don't know.
Absolutely.
And you get amazing things when you combine ARPs. So if you're running this into Ableton and then do ARPs afterwards,
Oh yeah.
you know, you're in gold land.
And I have the hold key on now too, so I can do some modulating. This is pretty dope.
Yeah, this is fucking ill.
There's an ARP step. Which is what this is here. It's a quarter triplet. There's also an ARP type, so you have, like, you know, the direction of the step. Down, up and down, up 10 octaves.
Did you say 10 octaves?
I'm sorry, no, not 10 octaves.
Oh,
1 octave, I'm sorry.
that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
Tell me
This is 2 octaves up. And now it's pretty cool time to introduce the scatter.
Yes. I didn't want to nudge you, but that's my favorite shit on this keyboard.
So the scatter is gonna be pretty dope. I'll just go through them.
Polyrhythms out the ass. Resonance is silly.
Hell yeah.
Gotta be careful. And you didn't have that knob even like that heavily up. That's crazy.
Nah, it gets hot real quick. Very sensitive. Let's try to separate these a little bit. That's better. Let's go.
That's crazy.
High pass filter. Low pass filter. Let's bring the release up.
That LFO and that cutoff?
LFO, yep. I have the color of the first oscillator modulated to the sub oscillator. And same for the second oscillator.
That's insane.
Let's change the LFO type.
Just again, the modulation options are. I didn't know they were this deep, you know?
I really like the pulse LFO on this, the pulse wave on this LFO is pretty tight.
It's cool working with pulse waves because depending on where you send them, they're either an octave up or they're like a sustained level up. You don't get that gradual rise.
Yeah, exactly. We do have octave options too. This thing gets pretty low actually.
Oh, man.
Let's see if we can get a super clean, just low end sound. Let's find some bass.
Amen. I mean, out the bat, the modulation on the bass sounds great. Oof.
Oh, there we go. Oh, pitch bend.
And I actually like the design of the pitch a lot. The pitch bend a lot. It's kind of like a knob.
Yeah.
Kind of like a rotary.
Spring loaded.
That's one thing that really makes me nervous about the Menalog. The pitch fader on it is just,
Yeah.
it's waiting to fall off, you know?
Definitely. Little pitch envelope.
Teddy Riley.
Let's see. LFO key trigger. Tempo sync. See what else we got here. That's pretty much it.
This actually might be a good time.
Oh.
You forgot you had another toy plugged in.
All right, yeah. So let's give this a try. So right now I've got the System-1 going into the Roland vocal transformer, the VT3, which is what I use live for all of our Black Space Odyssey stuff and for our recordings. So this may be, I mean, with 70 options on the System-1, it's like, why would I even want to do this? But I just gotta know. So let's try it. On the VT3, we have basically rotary style dial with 2 auto pitches, vocoder, synth, lead, bass, megaphone, radio, and a scatter. A dry wet for each of those effects as a fader, so you could do like kill switches, and then a dry wet fader for reverb, so you can kill switch with that. We've got 3 presets on the VT3. Oh, as well on the Roland System-1, we've got 8 presets that you can save and choose from, or you can just go straight to manual.
Nice.
And actually, you know what? Before that, we should talk a little bit more about this plug out system.
Word.
Let's smoke a little bit.
Okay, we'll be right back after we're a lot higher and talk about the plug out system. You're tuning into the Lab Science Podcast. Chirp. Welcome back to the Lab Science Podcast, the #1 podcast covering music production, songwriting, studio technique, being trill in general. I'm Professor Sense.
I'm Lean Automatic.
Today is an awesome day for Roland. We're talking all about the Roland AIRA series. We spent some time on the System-1. Wanted to take a second and talk about the plug out option on the System-1. I think that's really one of the golden features behind this thing. Let's talk about that a little bit.
It's pretty crazy, actually. So let's say you have, for instance, they have the SH-101 Roland analog synth available as a plugin for your DAW. What you can do is plug out from the SH-101 to the Roland System-1, and the parameters that are congruent with the SH-101 will light up on the Roland System-1, and you can then use the System-1 as an SH-101.
That's awesome. I mean, when you think about how important it is for artists to develop a live show nowadays, you can literally design your sounds in your DAW and then take the sounds that you make and beam them over to your keyboard, and then take that keyboard and go perform with the exact same sounds and all the parameters at your fingertips
in an instant. And that means you have 2 keyboards here. You have 2 synths.
Yeah.
You have the System-1, then there's a button for the plug out, so you can switch back and forth between your System-1 and your plugin.
So you're not losing any of the original capability. You're literally just adding another.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done, Roland. So again, we're having a full Roland day. You also have bought over the VT3.
Yes, I brought the VT3 with me, and we're gonna see what the Roland System-1 sounds like running through the VT3.
It's awesome. This is normally a unit used for vocal processing, so it'll be interesting to see what it sounds like running a synth through it.
I think I'm gonna try like a chill arpeggiation. I'm personally partial to the 6th scatter. It's pretty chill. Bring the attack back, get some release going. Alright, now I'm going to start running the VT3 effects. So let's try the auto pitch. Now the VT3 has a robot effect, which basically moves your, whatever sound is being put through the VT3. It moves it in like semitones, as opposed to just like a natural formant, So let's check it out.
Oh shit.
Now I have the dry wet on the VT3 like up 50%. So basically we got parallel processing.
That's sick.
Now there's also a reverb kill switch on the or dry wet fader on the VT3. Try it without the robot. Dope. Let's run through some effects. Actually, I've got the pitch fader up a little bit, so let's try the formant. Very subtle, but it's there. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, cool. Let's try some different effects. That's the first auto pitch, second auto pitch, vocoder. Shit. All right, let's try the synth.
Ooh. Kind of like a resonator.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
And again, for that translation, you know, for a lot of artists that are using resonators in Ableton, now you don't have to use one in Ableton. That sounds just like one. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
You throw some reverb on that, you're good to go. Gorgeous.
So we got that. That's the dry wet, all the way up on both the effect and the reverb. I'm gonna bring it down. Let's try the lead.
That's crazy. Sweeping the format. Kind of sounds like a theremin.
Tight. Let's try the bass.
Sheesh. It's amazing how many tones you get off of that formant.
Yeah,
knob.
The formant is crazy. Yeah, so I'm just basically fading between the octave and the formant, the pitch filter or the pitch fader and the formant fader. Let's try the megaphone.
Kind of has that sample and hold tone to it.
Yeah.
Really metallic. That's dope.
There's no drums in this song. It's very percussive.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a song. It's just
It's just an arpeggiator. That's crazy.
There's no drums in this song, bro. All right, back. Here we are. Let's try the radio.
Again, for that percussive sound.
Yep.
You throw that on a saturator and you're gone.
You're done. Try the scatter. Actually, you know what? For the scatter, we're gonna try to. The scatter actually is time based, so you're gonna need like a percussive hit to really get the scatter going. So we're gonna have to stab.
That's how the Puerto Rican dude has to stab. That's not a good situation.
So this is your scatter effects.
Oh, that's crazy.
tight.
That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy how many percussive, like I keep going back to it, but you get a lot of drum and rhythmic options out of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of both of these situations. It's dope.
Yeah, so apparently the System-1 sounds dope through the VT3. Who knew?
Who the hell knew?
Something that we could definitely use in the next Black Space Odyssey stuff.
Yeah, so if you guys want to send us any free Roland anything, we'll use it.
Oh yeah,
all the time. Just let me know.
This AIRA series is dope.
I've been really into the modular stuff lately. just so you guys know. Cool. So before we get out of here, I should mention that we've been recording a live audio track of all of these sounds. So for your homework assignment, we're going to release an entire download of these synthesizer sounds. And you're going to take them and you're going to sample them and make a song out of any piece you want. And the best one's going to win some stickers. And the best one's going to win an iTunes gift card. Because that's fun to give out. And we want to hear your homework.
We want to hear it. Here's a little more.
Any genre, any style. I promise I won't talk over the sample pack. You can rap over it if you want.
Definitely rap over it.
You should probably rap over it. We like rap a lot.
Let's get this VT3 going. I really like that lead.
Yeah. It's ghostly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, whatever the hell that is.
Hell yeah.
You should use that part. I'll give you like 2 extra bonus points if you use that part. Or that part.
One thing I like to do is with this delay, I'll set the time really low, but give the delay full, so it kind of separates it.
Yeah. The old widening trick.
Yeah, it's like a Haas effect.
Yeah. Du Haas. Du Haas effect. Du Haas. Du Haas effect. We're the Lab Science Podcast. Live from Brooklyn, New York City.
Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy to be specific. But we love you all, no matter where you are. Signing off, I am Professor Sense.
Yes, and I'm Captain Lean Automatic.
You might want to sample this part.
Oh, yeah.
It's got really dirty. Until next time. Love each other. Keep it peace. Protect your own and your neighbor. Get a pet. You deserve a pet. Eat organic. Have a cheeseburger if you want. Look up Black Space Odyssey.
Look it up.
Peace. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Lab Science Podcast and on Twitter at Lab Science POD. Our next episode is all about mixing tips, so if you have any questions about concepts that have been giving you trouble, reach out online, shoot us a question, and we'll be sure to cover it in the next episode. Until then, work on some music and be sure to turn in your homework assignments on time. Peace.